Okay, and we are back. So we just did our energy exchange where we found that unhappiness was the energy that the collective would most benefit from having cleared today. And the energy that we were calling in the place of unhappiness was mercy. So now we're going to dive into unhappiness and the root of that unhappiness and how we might be able to find that root and then pull it out once we bring it to our conscious awareness. And then we're going to look at any blocks or lack of openness that we have in ourselves to receiving mercy, feeling mercy, becoming mercy, giving mercy, all of that, because for whatever reason there is a connection point here. And I find it interesting because of course I only have a limited number of things on my chart, right? And so unhappiness has come up before, but the root is always different, and then the replacement can be different as well. So this particular unhappiness, because I actually think I had unhappiness last week, but this particular unhappiness might have a different root, and there's probably somehow in which that root is connected to a lack of mercy, a lack of forgiveness, a lack of grace that we're giving to ourselves or potentially to other people, which is why we have that unhappiness. At least that's my guess right now. So it's really simple. What do? We just go to our spiritual response technique charts. It's a very specific kind of modality that I was trained in over 6 years ago now, and it's something that I practice daily. And this is the way that I communicate with spirit, with God, with source, with my angels, with my higher self, with your higher self, and with the collective mind, the collective awareness, the collective subconscious. So it's a communication device is really what I see it, how I see it. This pendulum is also a communication device. It's how I connect to source, get information, connect to spirit. It is how I pray in a weird way, and that might be hard to understand, but for me, it is part of my prayer practice as well. It's like why no matter what I'm saying, I'm sort of spinning the pendulum here off to the side, because it is this prayer, it is this request, it is me saying, I'm here with the intention to clear something out of the way that is not good for us. And this pendulum spinning is like that commitment, that energetic movement of that ick and the calling in of the good thing in its place. So I just like to explain that for anybody who happens to stumble upon this video and is like, what the heck is this woman doing? So the first thing we're going to ask is, what is the root of this unhappiness? Of course, I've done a prep to work. Spirit and the collective and I are one. All of our high selves are just sort of working together to get some information from this. So is this 4B or chart 5? Chart 5. Chart 5 is called negative motivations, blocks, and interferences. Yesterday, we had the negative interference of anxiety. And today we have some appeasement coming up. Appeasement is something that has happened and come up a lot in SRT. It's come up in these videos. It comes up a lot in individual clearings. Appeasement is a very classic way that a lot of us humans handle conflict. I'd rather appease someone else, make someone else feel better, say fine, say yes, even though I don't mean it, rather than stand up for myself, risk having that conflict, risk having to let someone down, risk having to deal with someone else's emotions, because when we appease, it is an avoidance tactic. Whether you think so or not, appeasement is avoidance. And so we are just saying right now that it's looking like the root of our unhappiness is appeasement. So if you're feeling unhappy right now, if you've stumbled on this video, I would ask yourself, in what ways have I been acting out of appeasement instead of alignment? I felt like I needed to take an exhale with that. So what's the first thing that popped into your mind when I said that? When I said, what are the ways in which you have been acting out of appeasement instead of alignment? I want you to think about that first thing. I want you to think about that first thing, and then now for the rest of this clearing, keep that thing in your mind, because for you, as part of this collective, that's what you need this clearing for the most, is that first thing that popped into your head when it came to appeasement. So there's lots of different ways to be in appeasement. There's lots of different people, dynamics. This could be at work, this could be at home, this could be in all sorts of different varieties. This could be you're appeasing your mother, you're appeasing a grandparent, you're appeasing, again, you could potentially be appeasing yourself. It's like your inner self, your higher self is saying, no, I don't want this for me. And yet your lower self, this version of you, your egoic self, your shadow self is saying, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I'll be fine. No, it's fine. I'll be fine. So, what percent of what percent of the collective is actually an appeasement of themselves right now, just appeasing themselves and their own higher understanding? 100%. So we're all doing it in some way. Again, myself included. I am no better than anyone else. Might be a little bit more clear than other people because I do this work on myself all the time, but that's about it. So musical score, mathematical note is what came up. And so this is a lack of harmony. When there is this beautiful musical score and we call it musical score, mathematical note. It's like this sort of like, in my mind, when that comes up, it's like you can see the full symphony, the full, from start to finish, the beautiful pieces that all come together, the musical pieces that all come together, the math that is mathed in a formula that comes up with the perfect answer, the equation that comes up with the perfect answer. That is what we're calling in now. And again, to me, that is the epitome of alignment. You cannot have an orchestra be out of alignment. You can't have a formula be out of alignment and expect to get the right answer in math. And so we're calling in for all of us right now this sense of that completed orchestra that is in alignment from start to finish, where every player, every component knows its part and is operating in harmony together. And we're calling in that same thing. And if you're more of a mathy person, it's like seeing yourself and your life line up in such a way so that the formula stacks and you get that perfect answer at the end. You don't have to appease, right? If you're trying to appease a member of the orchestra, if you're trying to create appeasement inside of a mathematical formula, that's not going to work. It is what it is. It's sort of, there's a science behind it, right? This note just does not go with this note, no matter how much you try. You can try to force these two notes to sound good together. It's not going to happen. You can try to force 8 plus 7 to equal 25. It just doesn't. Your appeasement is trying to force 8 plus 7 equals 25. Your appeasement is trying to force this note to sound good with this note, and it's not working, which is why now that forced appeasement is creating unhappiness for you. So that's what we're having cleared right now. Again, just with my pendulum spinning, spirit, clear it. We're just clearing it. That's all there is to it. So now we're going to say, is there anything else we need to do to look at this root? Yes or no? So I'm getting a no. That's my no, obviously. Side to side is my no. And so now we're going to say, what percent are we open to harmony? What percent are we blocked to harmony? So first, let's ask openness. What percent are we open to not harmony? Mercy. What percent are we open to mercy? 0%. What percent are we blocked to our mercy? Also 0%. Blocks lately have been like real rare, you guys. I love this for us. Because I think SRT is working, and that's why I think we're having better numbers personally, because I think we've worked on this stuff before and we've made progress, and now we're not having the same kind of external blocks like beings, like ancestral bullshit, like external programming. This is all now, not all, but this today is just about our own openness and our own willingness to be healed, our own willingness to be transformed, our own willingness to stop appeasing. That's what this is about. If you have unwillingness to stop appeasing, your life will become better because you will be in more alignment. When we appease, we are out of alignment. When we are out of alignment, we don't like our life. When we don't like our life, we are unhappy. Do you see how this all lines up together? So I would encourage anybody right now who has been struggling to stop acting in appeasement to just give it a try. Experiment. Say, just for today, I will let go of appeasement. Whew. Say that again. Just for today, I will let go of appeasement. Just for today, I will see what it's like to live in alignment. I don't have to bind myself to it. I don't have to vow to it if I don't want to. But I'm saying just for today, I'm willing to give this a try. I'm willing to have that conversation with my partner and not pretend like I'm fine. And not pretend like I'm okay with what's going on, and not pretend like I'm not hurt or angry or distressed. I'm okay telling my mom how I really feel. I'm okay not just saying it's fine. So we're calling that in for all of us now. And again, it's just a practice. You don't have to get stuck in this. If you want to go right back to your old habits and your old ways of appeasement, you certainly can. That is your choice. You are not bound to this. And what would what harm would it do to just try to release yourself from that appeasement and see and feel the mercy that comes your way when you do? So we're just saying from beginning to end, we clear and harmonize all things.